right, so this is the Rexall 1987. It's a little dirty. I tried pressure washing it, but it's also rained a few times. Door handle has a little thing right there. Just push the top pull. She comes open. Let's see. The battery that I was using was not a good battery. It would self-discharge, and I borrowed it from my brother-in-law. Looks like he took it. Just had it tied in with some zip ties. So I don't think I'm gonna be able to start it tonight. I'm gonna put a new battery in it. Underneath here is just storage. You can see that it was definitely from southern Utah because all the dust. Cleaned a lot of it. This is the LPG tank. I haven't tested any of the LPG. I don't know how to do LPG stuff. This is the back side. What was this? This is the stove gas connections. Right here we got the Gen, good old Onan, which is made by Cummins. So this is 4 kilowatts, 120 volts. So it's perfect sizing for this RV. And I took the carburetor off, and I'm going to try to get that rebuilt. Have a new oil filter for it because it definitely needs an oil change. It's only got 300 and something hours on it. Good solid unit though. That's the fuel line, and these connectors come up from the main control panel. In order to really work on the Gen, you have to drop the generator down in order to get to the top of it. I'm gonna try to work on this and try to get it going. Shouldn't be too hard to get going. I just haven't had time with all the farm stuff. These are your DC batteries, the slots for them. So this is what the generator recharges and all your devices inside the RV use. And then there's a little hidden switch right here. And that switch is to let the spare tire down if you ever need it. I haven't found a lot of information online about these RVs, but that is one of the things that I learned. That patch, I don't know what happened there, but I haven't seen any signs of water damage on the inside, just the actual physical damage. Let me climb up here. The window seals will need to be replaced. Up on top, we got some vents, AC unit, solid up on top. Could use another going over with silicone. But for the most part, I haven't seen any signs of water on the inside of the RV, which is good. Some of the fiberglass is starting to show its wear. This was our makeshift tail light. These covers we couldn't find at a local store. That's our good water tank. This is a water line that's got hornets in it, apparently. Let's see. That is just a vent. I think that's supposed to be the air intake for the generator. And then behind this flap, we have our power cord. I switched it to a Delta Y. I realize now that was a mistake. I have the right connector for a standard RV hookup. I can have that fixed as well. That's easy. So in order to run the Gen powers this outlet, the back of it. So you take this cord out and either plug it into an RV station, or you plug it into that outlet if you're running off the Gen. Fuel tank, gray water, it's right there, flat cap. I have the hoses for it. This is the back side of the fridge. I did try to get the fridge started up on AC power, but I think the fuse is blown to this panel. So I don't know if the fridge is working or not. Another storage, this is where the hoses were. when I bought it. Another access door for when you're driving. Emergency brake. Let's go on the inside. Like I said online, I've done a lot of work on the engine side of it. That's why the carburetor is all nice and shiny. But she fires right up. Let's see if there's even fuel. We have a seat down. Yep, still got fuel in the floats. Auto choke. Water pump's new. That's new. Brake master cylinder's new, so the brakes work great. Kind of a mess right now since I was planning on fixing it up. I wish that these had latches, but they don't. Speakers have been removed. This is the water heater switch. That's what's over there. That's the water heater. So you can see that it is a closed cell foam insulation on the inside, just not underneath. This AC unit is impressive, saying that it is, what, 35 years old now? It works fantastic. It keeps the whole thing cool when it's 100 degrees outside. When I had it hooked up to power. So this is the shower. It just doesn't have the hose coming out of it in order, the little spray handle hose. This is underneath the bed, because I went through and looked at the water tank. It was completely bone dry, and I've already cleaned it. Baking soda, it's been a while. Yeah, I put a little baking soda in it and flushed it all the way. And that's how I know that the water pump works, because I filled it up through that filler neck and then pumped it straight back out. You need to have a cap on that in order to pressurize the water in all the RV. This is the inside of that damage. See a little light where the patch is a little thin right there. Overhead storage. Alright, let's go into the bathroom. So the bathroom does have sink, storage, toilet, sprayer, everything you could ever need. GFCI. It's kind of impressive for this age too. So the electrical panel's open. Some of the lights, the overhead cabin lights, weren't working when I had it powered up. And I found out it was just one of these DC fuses that go to them. So the system's kind of interesting because it goes from 12 volts to up to this panel, and the generator recharges those and supplies AC power. And this can pull from either one, the DC batteries or the AC when it's plugged in. I always, as a practice, just leave the main breaker off, just because I'm paranoid. Electronics is what I do for a living, so paranoia is a good thing. Fridge just needs to be cleaned. Other than that, it looks good. And it is AC, DC power, electricity, or gas setup. I hope that this guy works. Like I said, I don't know. The broken water line that I've been talking about is this guy right here. I twisted it up so I could measure it. You can see it's just right there. It's just a PEX fitting. What other electronics have I tested? I know the light in the microwave works and the microwave kicks on. So the microwave, since that's full electric, I did test that. This is a hideaway bed as well. This is the fuel pump. No, that's a fuel filter. But the fuel pump for the generator is in here. The plans that we had were to pull up all the carpet and just put down peel and stick tiles or linoleum inside of it, because this carpet's definitely had better days. No stereo in it. The engine does not have air conditioning. That is something to know. It has a button here, but when I bought it, it didn't have it. So the turning signal switch, the lights do work for the brake lights, and I'm pretty sure that this switch, when you move it, you can feel it's kind of got some gunk in it, so I'm pretty sure it's just that switch. All the headlights do work. The dashboard is a little sunk down over there. And then this guy I have pointed straight up, because when you're driving it would flop down and hit you. This is your gen controls. That's to switch over the engine to your batteries in the back for backup, so you can crank it if the front battery's dead. And this is gen start and stop, from what I've seen online. And this is supposed to be a water level, coolant level. I don't know what that one is, to be honest. Fuel gauge doesn't work. Temperature does. I don't know if the charging does. Oil pressure does. This is our hours on the generator. So we got 340, and the LPG gauge is pegged out at full. Like I said, I don't know anything about LPG. It's in pretty rough shape, but with the right amount of work, this thing could be fixed up to be pretty sweet. There's our water pump switch. And then checking tanks. This panel, to my knowledge, doesn't work. Like I said, I don't know about the water heater because I don't do gas. Well, that's about it. Oh, the flaps that were in the AC unit, I pulled those out because they were flapping around on the drive back. There's the carburetor for the gen. Like I said, I'm going to try to have it rebuilt.